Hello everyone. So one thing a lot of people been saying for a very long time is that most unique items should get buffed. As we all know, woundworks have been dominating in the game for a very long time, and in comparison, most unique items feel very underwhelming. So a lot of people want to see some of the uniques get buffed. They want to see the grandfather deal way more damage than it does now. They want the Tyrael's Might have 3 to all skills. They want the Arcane's Valor restored to its 1.08 former glory. Basically, they just want to make uniques great again. And this is one of the most wanted requests from the D2 community. Personally, I do agree that some uniques could receive some buff, especially given how rare it is to find some of these uniques and they just cannot compete with woundworks. They are basically useless. However, I think there's something in the way and it needs to be cleared up first. So here I have a question for all of you guys. If one day Blizzard is really going to buff some of the uniques, how do you think they should do it? In which way? What I mean is, should they only make the future drop uniques stronger, which will make 2 versions of the same items exist in the game? You know, they cannot just give the buffs to all the currently existing ones that we already have. So we got the currently existing version and the buff version which will drop in the future. Both versions of the same item will exist in the game. Should they do it this way? Or they should do something like make Charcy imbued uniques possible, or add a new Horajiki recipe so that people can make all the unique items, including the currently existing ones, stronger. I think this needs to be figured out first before starting any of the actual work on buffing the uniques. Currently in Diablo 2 Resurrected, Bokaito's Sacred Charge is the first and only item that has 2 different versions, and they both exist in the game. Before patch 2.7, it has the knockback effect, while the ones that drop after 2.7 has no knockback effect. This was actually the biggest change of 2.7 if you did not see it, because the same thing can happen to other items as well in the future. I know BK Sword is a set item, but don't be surprised if one day in the future Blizzard do the same thing to some of the uniques and lock them behind later seasons. And some uniques may need to be buffed significantly in order to compete with the woundwork counterparts. So most likely there will be more than just adding or removing one stat for most of them. Now, as much as I love wearing 1.08 Arcane's Valor and 1.08 Vampire Gaze back in the day in patch 1.09, why now I'm not so sure. Is it really a good idea to make most of the items in the game have 2 different versions and both versions exist in the game? Do you think that's a good thing, or do you think that's a bad thing for the game in general? And if the same uniques have 2 different versions, then are they really that unique anymore? And if it's the other option, like make Charcy imbued uniques possible, or new Horajiki recipe, then that's going to apply to all uniques, including the ones that don't need a buff. I do agree some uniques could receive some buffs, but I don't agree that all uniques should get buffed. You know, we got items like Titan's Revenge, Ares Face, Griffon's Eye. I don't think they need a buff. I don't think they should get buffed. So I'm really not sure. I just think there are a lot of things that we need to take into consideration and settle first before simply jump in and say, oh yeah, let's just buff the uniques. So I'm asking all of you, which way do you think is better? Only uniques from the future drops are buffed, or make Charcy can imbue uniques, or new Horajiki recipe that people can use to make all unique items, including the currently existing ones, stronger? Or do you think it's better to just leave things alone because This is like opening a can of worms, and God knows what some stupid crazy changes Blizzard will make and mess things up along the way. Sound off in the comment section below. With that being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.